Hello, dear folks. Welcome to the East-West Show. Jack Chow on the show with lots of pride. Today, joining me is my good friend, our political commentator, my backbone friend, Mr. Ken Manning. And it is a regular Friday show. Friday show, you know, it is we schedule for Trump Weekly.
Yes.
Well, Trump Weekly for a time turns out the Trump Daily. So
Yeah,
we probably change our mind, not necessarily to call it the Trump Daily, but anyway, it's a Friday show. Though you will see it sometime later, but you know, it is the moment as we talk while we're speaking at this very moment. President Xi Jinping of China and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, are meeting. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, Eastern Standard Time, to be more precise, about 5 o'clock they met.
Yes.
For a very short period of time, a few moments, something like 20, 30 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Maybe longer, maybe longer.
Introductory meeting.
Yeah, the introductory meeting. And word came out that Donald Trump made his comment, and we were expecting them to meet again around lunchtime. As a matter of fact, as we are speaking now,
They're having lunch right now.
They are having lunch at this very moment.
Right.
We do not know what they are talking about, they shall be talking about, they will be talking about, and what will be. Neither do we know the result of whatever concluded. We could speculate, because nowadays the world is so problematic. We know, everybody knows where the problems are. So with the given problems, we're trying to speculate, see what would be the best, what would be to the most of the benefit to both country, to both people, we the people. We don't care anything else. We care about our people.
The citizens of China and America.
China and America. So to my friend Ken Hemming, I almost say Ken Manning, because my friend Ken Manning was with me yesterday.
You did say that yesterday.
No, I did. Okay.
I'll change my name for Jack.
Because we're by the same mother anyway.
Absolutely.
All right,
yeah.
good, very good. So Mr. Ken Hemming here, sharing his thoughts on this big issue. Okay.
And thank you for letting me be here and with your viewers.
What have you heard so far about the, I call it a summit.
Well,
it's a summit.
Let's start with an original impression that is beautiful. When you see gentlemen, world leaders standing near each other, and you see their respective flags in America, at Mar-a-Lago and Florida, it's a beautiful sight.
Oh, it is.
And that sight can be summed up in one word: hope.
Hope.
Without communication, there's no hope. Now these two gentlemen, they are both very powerful world leaders, are getting to know each other on a basis that so far President Trump said is they're feeling friendship. And friendship is a very, very critical word, where mutual respect is one thing, but compatibility, you know, in your soul and communication is something even better. So that's where the hope comes from, that they will, you know, nobody wants the world to be more chaotic, okay? You know, China doesn't want to take over America, America doesn't want to take over China.
No.
We want to coexist in a win-win situation. And it's only possible through knowing each other in communication, and that has begun now with President Trump and President Xi.
And thank you very much, I would say, for taking such a take, because after all, at the end of the day, you're only talking about we are on the global Earth, a little globe that we call our home, right? The coexistence. I mean, coexistence is the key.
Exactly.
All right, we want to live on forever on this global Earth, if possible.
Yes.
And then the best way to do is not to fight. The best way to do is to join hands. Right. That's why at his first conclusion he says, "What is the quote unquote establish some kind of friendship?"
Sure.
Right.
Correct.
So that. Okay. Now. You know, the public
and Trump said he was very honored that the president of China was here. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, that is very beautiful.
Beautiful.
You know, the public eye, right? They look into all aspects,
right.
all, even the details. For the selection of his own home.
Yes.
Right.
Very interesting.
For that point, what kind of message does that deliver to you? Because you probably read more about American minds.
Well, you know, the White House is a very authentic, formal representation of America. The Mar-a-Lago estate that President Trump owns and spends time at is more of a personal, you know, they call it the White House, Florida White House, whatever, but it's not the White House. So, you know, I think in a way it's almost more meaningful when a gentleman opens up his home to new people that he's meeting versus the formal representation that the White House presents to the world. So I think it's kind of nice, and I'm sure that President Xi goes to there and goes, wow, does everybody live like this in America? No, they don't. We don't. But it's got to be pretty impressive and also very warm. It's
Another
warm.
word is more relaxation.
More relaxing and more warmth in the rooms.
More warmth.
Warmth, yeah.
And by standard of reception, is not in comparison with a White House reception.
Yes.
But more personal,
formal.
right?
Yeah, more personal.
More personal.
And I like that style.
Okay, see.
You know, you're
if I say to you, I met with President Xi Jinping in Beijing, in his office. That's one thing.
Right.
And the other, well, I may say that I was invited to his house.
That's a different thing. That's a different deal.
That's a different deal, right?
Yeah.
That's a totally different deal, right?
Yeah, and it's superior.
Does that mean why exactly you haven't invited me to your house yet?
I need my cleaning lady to come first, okay?
Oh, and then now you're working.
Then you can come.
You're working your butt to get the money to pay your cleaning lady.
Yeah.
Right? All right. Okay.
You are.
I'm waiting.
I'll give you
I'll
give you a house key anytime you want it, Jack.
All right, very good. And I need somebody to clean my house.
Right.
Okay, very good. So, in other words, it has a good start already.
It is a good start.
And the preparation itself leads to the good start.
Yes.
On the man-to-man level, they shake hands, they meet each other.
Yeah.
And of course, we're talking about this is a world filled with almost to the brim.
It is
with a lot of problems.
With challenges,
right?
Yes.
Which
Very
are so obvious.
Unstable.
So obvious, everybody can name them, the problem.
Right, they're right there.
And yet they want to make sure that it is not a meeting to talk about the problems.
You know,
I mean, the differences.
And one thing too, the two gentlemen, you know, they don't really speak the same language, but I suspect with the translators that it becomes a pretty fluid conversation, and I like that.
That's not
good fluidity.
Yeah, that's not necessarily the case because whoever, whenever, when they meet, and interpretation is always necessary. It's a routine almost.
No,
right?
that's big.
The fact is that he's been here for several times already.
Okay.
He might get a chance to know him quite a bit.
Yeah.
And he once stayed in a American host family.
Okay.
And he was in President Xi Jinping of China.
Yes.
He was in very, very close relationship with them.
Oh, good.
And even these days, they're still friends.
Good.
So
I love that.
During the time when he stayed there, he must have learned some
English. Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Yet on a formal setting, they really have to have a interpretation.
Oh, yeah. And they've got to be good interpreters.
Yeah, good interpreter. I can qualify.
Yes, you can.
Oh, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
All right, okay. I can clean your house.
Yeah.
So now, when he says two words out of the meeting, says, I've got nothing.
Yes, he did.
He said,
I have absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
But I have the start of a relationship.
I have a start of
relationship
or friendship. I have a
got
start of friendship.
Yeah.
How do you weigh these two sentences, please?
Well, when he said that, of course, it was yesterday. So now there's been a longer meeting in probably more open communication.
He might got something. Might
got something. He seemed, I mean, you know, what he said yesterday, everybody loved it, okay? Because this tells the truth, okay? And then today, there was quite a bit of warmth. And of course, then I was listening to the president of China also speaking, except they weren't interpreting on television. But, you know, body language looked positive to me. and all the people that were lined up on each side of the table. It was a very impressive group of people. They're all of them winners.
Well, they're all big shots.
They're all big shots, okay?
That for sure.
But the body language was nice. President Xi doesn't smile a lot, but he was engaged in the relationship there, and it was a very positive deal. And the cameras are in there, and it was good. And I think President Trump is a very gracious host.
One thing for sure, it is him flying across the ocean to come meet with Donald Trump.
I thought about that too. You're right.
Yeah,
that's a big
and
gift.
The initiative was created from this side towards Trump, and I believe Trump accepted.
That's already a win.
Got the message. That's already a win.
For him to come, it's already a win and hope.
And then, of course, pretty soon, there's going to be Donald Trump flying over across the ocean
I
to
certainly
see
hope
him
so, yeah.
and in his house or something.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a mansion like that, but he might have a house.
Oh, he'll have something. Yeah.
Now,
He'll have something.
so I noticed on the news, it says President Trump stated jokingly, I've got nothing.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
right?
with a
At
smile
this
on
very
his
moment,
face.
right? A smile on his face,
Yeah.
right? And I see a start of friendship.
Yes.
That's a very positive confirmation.
Totally positive. But for him to say, I've got nothing, absolutely nothing, means they talked about something. Okay, it means they talked about something. They haven't not begun the conversations on issues they need to talk about. They have begun it, and it's been sort of a neutral playing field right now.
Okay, very good, very good.
Yeah.
And I want you to understand me as the show host for this program,
For
number
many
one.
years.
And of course, as a man, I'm a Chinese American.
Yes, sir.
I'm a Chinese American.
Absolutely.
And still, I take it in my cup of tea how these two countries are getting along.
Yes.
Right. And the best thing on earth would be I see them hand in hand.
Well, it would be the
The
greatest
worst thing, by the same philosophy, the worst thing would be they don't do that.
You know, and my hope comes in different ways. One I do hope, because China has real serious influence, I believe,
Yes.
over North Korea.
And it's getting bigger and bigger.
And getting bigger and bigger influence everywhere on the planet. And China buys a lot of natural resources from North Korea. And, you know, it is very unstable. It's not even stable for China, okay? It's a very unstable.
Okay, let's take a
so we
very
hope for
short
that.
moment now. When we come back, we'll continue finding more with this whole thing. My dear audience, ladies and gentlemen, today we're talking about President Xi Jinping of China and President Donald Trump of the United States. They are the big leaders of the, I would say the biggest,
the world.
The two biggest leaders of the world are meeting together, trying to look around for something to do.
Yes, sir.
Joint-handedly.
Yes.
Right, okay. With me today is my good friend, Mr. Ken Hemming. He is a writer himself, even though CPA for life, he is a philosopher and a political commentator, my backbone. Very dead-fast Republican, but right now we're not talking about partisanship, we're talking about what's good for the world.
I love our Constitution.
All right, good, very good. I do too. All right, stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, my dear friends, my dear audience, my lovely fellow Americans. Welcome back to the discussion about the summit meeting. I call it a summit meeting.
Sure.
Even though not very formal like in the White House, but is more amicable, more cordial setting.
Good words.
Right. So, and probably more can be talked about rather than making a speech. A bunch of applause like that, more
That's
formal,
true. That's
for
true.
formality, right? Now, instead of doing formalities, the two leaders will probably sit there, talk about issues after issues, all right? And on this global earth nowadays, what are the top issues that, to your perspective?
Well, of course, one of the major issues right now, which is all over the world, is the Syrian issue. And yesterday, two destroyers of America shot like 60 Tomahawk rockets at the air base in Syria, where we believe the planes took off that gassed their own citizens. Now, gassing your own people, you know, as a caring person, is a very heinous crime.
Yeah, it is.
They, you know, you can blow people up, which is heinous, but gassing, the pain, and it takes time to die, and it's just heinous. And then you see pictures of kids. Many kids were killed. It's just unacceptable behavior, and by Bashar Assad, and something had to be done. If we did nothing, you know, once you start using gas on your own people, then it expands. Well, if you can get away with it, well, let's use it on some other people. So, and I think the world, other than Russia right now, but they've been a little bit muted in response.
Is it confirmed that Assad and his regime did it?
Well, I can't answer that as an authority, but they say 100% it was Assad. Yeah.
And I see the same thing, the same extent. I see kind of a landslide of finger pointing that Assad and his regime did that, responsible for that. And for that, a heinous crime, of course, it deserved the...
It deserved a response. It needs something where America...
Oh, it's not a response. In this case, punishment.
Punishment, right.
Punishment,
and actually, the rockets came from American ships, but it was a response from the whole civilized world.
All right.
It really was. Angela Merkel in Germany and in France, they've all, in England, they've all supported that was good. Something needed to be done. Now, then the thought process for anybody rational is, well, what's next? Well, what's next? We hope that Russia doesn't get too upset and try to respond in some way, and that Assad will learn, well, maybe I better stop that, because a long time ago in Libya, you know, we blew up the president's house, and so all of a sudden he was friendly and amicable. And behaved for a long time.
And there was just now, about 1 hour ago on the news, when I was on way in, it was on the news saying that this was called a kind of an analysis talking about Russian response to that. And the word was that, come on, it was probably a few strong words, that's it.
So far, yes.
On the diplomatic level,
right.
A few strong
more
words.
More muted,
More muted.
Yeah.
Something like that so far.
Yeah.
And the reason saying that is Russia doesn't see any room of doing anything else other than a few strong words.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, the media, Jack, they try to make a big thing out of things that can be small. This morning they're saying there's a Russian frigate going over in the area where our destroyers are. But then open discussion is, well, they keep resupplying something there, and that's a normal route for a Russian frigate to resupply. So that's not a direct relationship to the event.
And also, one thing I would like to point out, by Eastern philosophy,
okay,
which I was brought up,
and I
based upon. It is quite different from what you see in the West. Right? You did something, you have done something. I would say yes or no. You support or not, something like that.
Right.
And there's no chance of taking a third position.
Yes.
I may say nothing.
Yeah.
You never know what I think.
Right.
You never know what I think.
Right. That's right.
And for that, you will hesitate for quite a moment. Do you want to take me as an ally? Do you want to take me as, say, enemy line? So you hesitate. Okay, suppose you hesitated for 5 minutes.
Right.
In the 5 minutes, you and I benefit mutually.
Sure.
Right? Suppose the hesitation takes 5 years. You and I benefit 5 years. And suppose the hesitation takes 50 years.
Right.
You and
the world is
benefit
benefiting
each other, and the world is benefiting from the silence.
Right. That's right. Right.
For 50 years.
Yeah.
That is by Eastern philosophy defined. Of course, we do not know what China responds yet. My bet, my personal bet, is that China will
I think
give no comment.
And they have not yet, and I don't think there will. It's not directly
That's the
relevant.
smartest way to do.
It is, yeah.
Smartest way to do,
Yeah.
right? So we say nothing.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I say that was that on the news we noticed that during the short meeting, President Donald Trump brought the information up to President Xi Jinping.
That's what we
that
understand.
we are going to bomb Syria.
Right. Do an event, yes.
Yeah, and then there's no word after.
Right.
There's no word after.
Right, that's
Even
right.
the news stopped out there.
Well, see, and one other really important thing is this activity in Syria by the Syrians was so heinous that really you don't want, most countries, very few countries would really express support for Syria and not support for America reacting to something so bad. Nobody wants to be directly associated with that kind of a really rotten event of letting kids slowly die.
Of course.
Yes, so that's good. So silence is helpful.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and sometimes silence speaks.
That's
To
right.
understand, silence
That's right.
speaks, right? Otherwise, fingers should be pointed
Silence
at
is
you.
powerful.
Silence is powerful,
Yeah.
right? And I believe that during the meeting, they would somewhere somehow mention something, and my bet was that China would not make a explicit finger pointing
Right.
at the United States.
I believe that's right. Yeah.
So that will probably compromise the situation. Otherwise, you
Yes.
have either B or A or B. How about a C?
Yeah, and the other thing that some people on TV were saying, well, maybe that wasn't the right way to inform China, but I think it was a very good way. He's transparent. The gentleman is there, and he shared what was about to happen. I think she would rather hear it from Trump directly than go back to his room and then look at TV.
Exactly.
So I think it was honorable to do that.
And you know what? If we really want to get into the minds of Donald Trump, when he says to Xi, we're going to take an event.
Yeah.
We're going to do an event.
Right.
Like that. I believe he was testing water. At that moment, the action didn't take place yet.
It was before
last night.
we understand that. Yeah.
It was last night.
Yeah.
Right? So that was only yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
So when he tested the water, my bet was that she gives no comment.
I would have guessed that too.
Yeah, that's a
Number
common
one,
guess, right?
any quality leader's got to take time to absorb the news before you just respond.
Okay.
In other words, listen, think, and then respond. And that's what President Xi is doing.
Well, probably
think.
prior to arrival, the information already served.
It's possible.
Because you have the satellite, everything.
Right.
And everything's ready, and U.S. is going to take action.
You know when there's 60
And
missiles
China may
going-
say, good, go ahead, do it, but I don't want to say anything.
Yeah, right.
Like that,
Right.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
right?
because we all know
So,
what we're doing.
We all know what
We
we're
do.
doing. I don't want to give you a word.
There's
whatever,
no
but,
country
but
without
you do what you want to
good
do.
spies. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
sure. What do you want to do? You never
Yeah.
tell me what you want to do.
Right.
I say nothing. I would say nothing.
Yeah.
I said nothing, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And I believe that for a while, during the campaign, we thought Donald Trump was a man of no routine or no pattern or kind of a play cards with no rules. It started to show that not necessarily. By him taking a quick action of this much, and by him meeting President Xi at this moment, by him notifying Xi at this moment about the action, it looks like very strong steps.
Very strong steps. And also, President Trump, I think, has very quality people that he listens to in his cabinet, okay? We've got some generals. We have great military input to President. And Trump knows what he doesn't know.
That is the
He
system.
does,
That is
and
the
he
system.
listens.
Yeah.
And he listens. And he doesn't get upset if people disagree with him. He'll listen, and then he makes the ultimate decision. But this was good. This was a community decision, you know, among his top advisors. And I'm pretty surprised that it was so quick, to be honest. And I think it was the timing was right. The timing was right. You can't let it sit and get stale.
The quicker the action, the more message it has.
Yes.
right?
This is very quick.
If you waited for 2 months to do anything,
Yeah, right.
right? I just learned that when we launched the war against Afghanistan right after 9/11 attack, I thought it was quite some time later. Matter of fact, I just learned recently from a friend, military friend, who was involved in the actual kind of airborne troops.
Okay.
He was a member of that.
Proud of him.
You know the actual action was what day? September the 16th, they're already setting food in Afghanistan.
Oh, really? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Before the war started.
Right,
So,
right.
And the reaction was only 5 days.
Yeah.
Taking the flight time. Right?
Yeah, right,
Taking
right.
the preparation time.
Oh, right, yeah.
Taking,
It was
putting-
instant.
Yeah, putting the backpack on your shoulders.
Right.
All the time.
It was instant, yeah.
And on the 16th, by the morning, they landed, airborne landed in Afghanistan already.
Yeah.
So the quicker the action, the more message it has.
Well, we probably had them in Iraq too at the same time. I mean, probably both places.
Yeah, we don't know,
Yeah.
right?
Because they're doing surveillance.
For this thing, even though the attack was last night,
Yeah.
the actual action probably to that area was kind of way before.
Well, you know, the gassing of the people was only a couple days ago, and very fast reaction.
It's once again a matter of days.
Yes.
Matter of days.
Matter of days.
I would guess that China would not give any comment, not only within the summit meeting, but later with the meeting, they will not give a direct comment on that.
Yeah, you're probably right, because they're not directly affected by that, and it's not a popular thing to support gassing your own citizens.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's why, and the answer is that whatever you say, the answer is I keep silent,
Yeah.
right? And that itself is a stronger message.
It's a very
You
strong.
never know,
Yeah.
right? Okay, very good. My dear friends, today we're talking about the Xi-Trump meeting. Xi-Trump meeting is a big meeting for the time. Lots of people, lots of news comment, including the major streamline kind of like media, including those extreme media. They have to call it one of the biggest meetings, right? Even though
Very
this morning you do not see a lot of report. They know that keeping silence is really a thing.
Yeah. They had a meeting, and then they have a nice lunch, and then
Very good.
President Xi goes back home.
Today, in discussing about the meeting, is a meeting between me and Mr. Ken Hemming, my good friend. We'll see what shall be produced for the next day or two. No, he stays in Florida for today, whole day.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? So, and there are more to come.
Yeah.
Right? Stay with us, please. Hello, dear friends, my dear audiences, lovely fellow Americans. Welcome back to the show. Matter of fact, it's a discussion about the Xi/Trump meeting. Right now, it's happening. I believe they are having lunch. Maybe lunch is over. We haven't checked about news yet, but I believe some big things are talked about, right?
For sure.
So we kind of like felt afraid. We took the freedom of speech or expression to take our speculation about what shall be talked about.
Right, exactly.
Number one, the Syria bombing, the bombing Syria situation. We believe that China is taking a very, very smart position by not saying anything at this very moment, which will be, in the longer term, a balance to the situation.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Now, number two issue. What is your number two issue amongst all these problems on the nowadays world?
Well, I think it would probably be right now the situation with North Korea.
North Korea.
We've got about 22 million people in North Korea. It's a one-issue country, and the one issue is militarism. And it is run by a gentleman that has got sole power. He can do anything he wants. Nobody says no, or they die, basically.
Oh, they
truthfully.
die in a different way. In all kinds of creative ways.
All kinds of creative ways.
You use a
rocket,
cannonball,
yeah.
cannonball to kill a human body.
Flamethrowers, and they've had dogs
yeah.
eat people. So they have. So anyway, it's a situation where this guy has, and his father and grandfather had the same circumstances he has, but this guy's even, I don't know, he might be crazier than his father.
It is.
How naive can he be? He knows if we decide that we could take him out anytime. We could. We don't want to, okay? But they do have nuclear potential, and if they get the rockets to deliver it, it could come maybe all the way to the East Coast. So we can't. And he just keeps doing all these tests. Happily, most of them fail. But you keep testing, all of a sudden things succeed. And they're not far from, obviously they touch China, they're not far from Japan, and then of course they're touching South Korea. So he has to be stopped. It has to stop. And really the greatest partner we can have is China in its influence with North Korea. And so that's one thing that I hope and pray for that comes out of this. Very touchy subject for Trump and President Xi to talk about, but it's got to be talked about, otherwise.
I believe lots of people believe too. That is one of the most major topics that needs to be talked about.
Yeah, I believe
and
that.
Probably this very moment as we speak, they are talking about it already, right? But the thing is that I totally agree that this guy is out of bound, out of question, out of anyway, whatever you say, right?
How does he think? He doesn't really have great power outside of his...
Acting like a lunatic, acting like
he's a lunatic.
Well,
he just had his...
I have no
Yeah, he just had his stepbrother killed in
And if
China.
anybody takes action against him to stop him, I have no problem. I go with both hands. I go with my octopus
all of
arm,
hands
all
and fingers.
of them to embrace that decision, right? This is number one.
But it's got to be supported
Number two, talking about China's support.
Yeah.
I once again want to apply, I want to supply you with a different way of thinking.
Eastern thought process.
Yes. You want to understand one thing. Number one, U.S., North Korea, they're kind of zillions of miles away.
Yes, sir.
Right? Okay, with water.
Fortunately.
And yes, fortunately.
Fortunately.
Okay, China and North Korea, they are land to land.
Yeah.
They're land to land, okay? If they far next door, we smell.
Yeah, right, that's right.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Now, China's position, believe it or not, it is far more difficult than U.S. position. Do you think of that? Do you agree with that?
Could you explain a little bit more where you
Because land to land.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right?
Right.
Because of land to land.
But we don't see antagonism.
Like I said, if you were doing anything in your room, we smell next door.
Right. But we don't see antagonism from North Korea to China that I'm aware of on a deep basis.
No, I'm talking about land to land thing.
Oh yeah, no, that's
that land to land thing.
I mean, they can,
anything happens over there.
Right there.
It kind of affects the China almost right away.
Even a failed missile shoot could land in China.
Of course.
And that's that would not be good for...
I believe China is on whole 100% alert. A bomb is a bomb. A nuclear bomb is a nuclear bomb. It doesn't have its eye in their hand.
It doesn't. That's right. That's right.
It may flow, and all of a sudden flow this way.
Yeah.
Okay, by the way they operate. Right now, and this is only one take. The other take here, you got to understand, with his grandfather, China and Kim Il-sung.
Okay.
Right, Kim Il-sung,
yes,
or
sir.
whatever. They were in good relationship.
Okay.
Right, and later with his father, the relationship kind of loosened up.
Okay.
Right. Now with the grandson, the guy goes lunatic.
He is a lunatic.
And China kind of like, I would say, if I were, oh, by the way, what I'm talking about whoever, about anything, that represents my personal point of views. I believe my personal point of view is that China wants to get rid of it.
Well, see, all China has to, and I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'll admit that. But if China says to him that this has to stop or you will stop, he's got to listen to China. They're right there.
No, he doesn't listen.
I know he doesn't.
That's the problem.
I know, but then, ergo, what
That's
would
the problem.
happen is
Okay, now,
China takes him out.
For the six-party conference,
Yeah.
you tell me how many sessions have been going on so far ever since. It goes on and on and on, all the countries,
Right.
the 6 countries,
Right.
on and on and on, over and over again. It never worked.
And nothing happens.
In the hands of the grandson, this lunatic guy, doesn't even give a hint of working.
No.
So there must be a moment when China say, hey, if you decide to go, you want to go your own way, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like a tie to the belt, just untie it. So you go where you want to go.
Right.
Right?
Because
now,
the belt is attached. They're attached to each other.
For China to join the hand in attacking him is really a different issue. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? China would say, I'll keep on pushing the discussion. I'll keep on pushing with the table and trying to drag him back to the table. But it's up to him. Right? When he decides to go betray everything, even betray the entire human race, well, I don't care who does what to him. How about that as a take?
No, it's a good. See, what I'm thinking about right now is, if we could take him out. I mean, he's got rallies in the open and
no
all
problem,
that.
no problem at all.
Then what do the other generals do? Do they think they have to react with terror and horror and that? I'm not sure they do. They might. I mean, the generals that work real closely and the politicians that work really closely with the dictator there, they're fearful for their life every day. I mean, they have to act in a way that never...
Even amongst themselves,
I'd be
they're going to
so
rebellions.
Fearful.
They're going to be rebellions a lot.
Right, yeah.
I believe the sons and daughters, the guy who has a boom, shot with a cannonball will never forget the hatred.
Right.
And it is the moment. It is right moment.
Yeah.
And all his army general, whoever, swear in to be loyal, and they might betray.
Yeah.
Right? So that is the moment. So
because I don't think they would really react and try to start a war against several countries because they have nothing
and once
to do
again, my personal take is that it would be hard for China to take an actual position in this. China would say, okay, come on, hands up. Now, considering the fact that we are land to land,
yes, sir.
and China and North Korea land to land, is it smarter or is it more responsible to humanitarianism to get some shelters on the river, along the river?
Well,
wait.
How
Some people, right? Well,
how would you do
running away for lives? Well, at least China provides some kind of shelters.
Yeah, right. They could do that. Now, people, I don't know if people...
If I were she, I would do so.
One thing I don't think you or I even fully understand, Jack, and that is that the people in North Korea from birth have been brainwashed
I
believe in their country, in their leaders. Brainwashed,
I agree.
like in World War II, the Japanese.
Yeah, just like in the Cultural Revolution in China, the same thing happened.
Right,
We're all human after all.
Right, but so there's such, because they don't even, they don't have full communication on internet.
Let's take a short moment out, and when we come back, we'll continue. It looks like one of the biggest issue. We really have to dig it out. So stay with us. We'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends. Welcome back to the show. How do I look in this vest? Maybe better, right?
Perfect.
And by the way, as a matter of fact, my shoulder is killing me.
Yeah.
The pain is so enormous.
So sorry for
I
that.
really have to keep it warm, by the way. But I do look better.
You look great. I'm so jealous.
With the
G&E all the way.
G&E. All right. Well, thank you very much for liking it. Now, on the issues of Xi-Trump meeting, which is happening right now, there are lots of speculation to talk about. News will come out, selectively.
Yes, very selectively.
They will decide, say, hey, these are the discussions between you and me, and these are for publication, like that kind of thing. Right? So I'm pretty sure that is one of the purposes why they meet in a private place rather than, right? Good now.
Sure.
Okay, good. me and my friend Ken Hemming are talking about the North Korea issue.
Yeah.
North Korean issue is a really, really big issue. The biggest headache being that the guy is a lunatic.
Truly.
Is a lunatic.
Unquestionably.
Right? You can't scare him because he is fearless.
He's not a realist, right? Fearless.
He doesn't know how it feels to die, something like that. Okay.
He knows how it feels to kill, though.
Yeah. And now he insists on doing the nuclear thing he's doing, right? So has to be stopped somewhere, somehow.
Really has to be.
I do agree.
General Mattis said that this has to stop. He has to be stopped. Those are serious words from America.
Do you think by any chance, using the modern technology, can we handpick the man himself rather than hurting anybody else, like we did with Osama bin Laden?
Yes, I mean there were other people that were shot with bin Laden, but he could be isolated. I mean, we have great surveillance with the universe now. You can see anything. So yes, he could be isolated, and there may be some what they call it ancillary damage or something, but I don't know why. We can't talk with him because he won't talk to anybody. So he either keeps doing these things. The more the world reacts against him, the more he does to get more bad reaction.
He refuses to talk to China. He refuses to talk to China.
Doesn't sound smart to me.
Yeah, of course.
They're really
That's
big.
why China say, really, I don't know what to do with this guy.
Yeah.
Right? And then they kind of like push it to the very end of the rope.
I think
when nobody can do anything.
I think the North Korean dictator has a shorter term of existence than Assad in Syria. So I think Assad will survive longer.
Okay. Well, anyway,
because it's getting so poignant now.
Okay.
It's getting so serious.
Assad has his first gift already. Let him assume that, consume that for a while.
Yes, sir.
Right. On this guy, the Kim guy. My question was that I really want to do a little kind of like they called proton insertion, proton operation with a very less invasive operation to get to the very dead cell.
We could do it.
That kind of thing.
I have no question.
There's a proton, whatever. It's a surgical operation with a very, very least invasive insertion.
See, one thing I don't know much about, but I'm questioning right now, how many fighter planes do they have? What's their Air Force? I don't really know.
Almost nothing.
Almost nothing.
Almost none.
Right.
Almost none compared to us.
They've got
almost none.
Over a million-man army.
Plus, the world now is like an amphitheater.
Yeah.
You can see from the sky everything.
Absolutely.
There's no roof of covering anything.
Like
right? So
you two fly it over.
And I learned that our satellite can tell a soldier if he has shaved or not in this morning.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, we can tell an apple which is ripe or not.
Yeah, you're right.
From
It's
way
outrageous.
miles above the sky.
It's outrageous.
Of course, we shall find out. Oh, there goes the guy. There goes the guy. Like that kind. We should go. Can we handpick them?
Well, we've done that. We've done it. You've seen it in Afghanistan, Iraq, and that where boom, all of a sudden there's people driving in a vehicle, and then all of a sudden the vehicle disappears.
Yeah, sure.
So it can be pinpointed to that degree.
Can be pinpointed, right?
Yeah. The Tomahawk missiles are pretty much within 3 or 4 feet. They'll hit where they're supposed to. 3 or 4 feet is pretty close.
You mean
right here.
Right here. Right?
Exactly.
Good. All right. Good. So. And once again, we're bringing China on the table.
Yes, they're very important.
I want you and I want the rest of the world, the rest of the folk, understand the China position. And the China position in taking positions in this issue is far more difficult than the United States.
Yeah.
For example, people on the bordering area along the river.
Right.
They are kind of in a distance. They recognize each other
right
over across the river.
Right.
They recognize that. they say that, and they used to say, "Oh yeah, good morning. Is that you?"
Yeah.
Something like
Right.
that kind of thing.
I believe that. Yeah.
They're so close to that extent. Anything landed on anywhere, they're going to hurt people.
Right.
Of no way who can tell whoever.
But anybody in North Korea that tries to get into China is in grave danger, and anybody from China that wants to come into North Korea is a fool, because you don't
Nobody
want to go
goes
there.
that way. Nobody goes that way.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to go. Nobody wanted to go.
Nobody does.
And the Northeast Chinese along that river, though, is the first at stake when anything happens, right?
Oh yeah, that could get filled with people really fast.
Of course, right? Anything happens. So it is hard for China to say, yes, go ahead, attack him.
Yeah.
When the attack happens, it might hurt people at the border area.
Well, then all of a sudden, then China might have, a couple million more people in their country that are fleeing. So
Of course, we decide to go, then let's go.
Yeah.
Let's do it, right? We did it once, why not, right? Okay, now, but the thing is that the time has changed, and then with the new leaders, new administration in China, who are smarter than I thought.
Okay.
Than I thought them they would be, right? So once again, like I said, in the serious situation, China would.
Yeah. So that's what you predict is happening right now.
I'm predicting China
And it
will
will
let
continue.
go. Will let go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, little guy, you want to
Yeah.
go? You go.
Yeah.
Unleash guy, go yourself like that.
Yeah.
And here's the tomb. Go for it.
Yeah.
Like that. And then, to be on the humanitarian side, prepared themselves with a bunch of shelters for war refugees.
Sure, sure.
For war refugees. Okay.
Yeah, that would
and
be
who
fine.
might necessarily be
safe zones. It'd be a safe zone.
Yeah, who might even be Chinese themselves.
Sure.
Because it's the zone area. It's the war zone.
Yeah.
Right. So for that war zone to be prepared with some shelters.
See, what's really incomprehensible is that dictator there in North Korea, why doesn't he just leave the rest of the world alone, do whatever he wants in his
you're
own
asking
border?
a baby
I know,
question.
I know.
I know.
It's so common sense, which is such an easy way to live your life phenomenally with total power, do anything, kill anybody you want, and yet he's reaching out to irritate the world.
The whole world is asking the same question. Why?
Yeah, why? It's got to be insanity. It's only insanity and lunatics.
The answer is that the guy doesn't think the way you think.
No, he doesn't think like a normal human. He just doesn't.
You never understand him.
Yeah, no, that's right.
And then you were saying that his supporter is in profound supporter. The whole nation been brainwashed.
Every person from the moment of birth.
So
yeah.
So that's why they believe he's the guy.
And they have an awful lot of people starving to death over there because all the money goes to the military, and it's really sad.
Okay. So
really sad.
And what do you think at this summit that will be also be discussed between Xi and Trump?
Oh, besides North Korea? Oh, trade. Let's get to trade. Trade's the big one.
Yes, trade.
Yeah,
trade.
Trade's huge. So I don't know what's going to happen. Like I have so many clothes and things, including a beautiful jacket like that that's made in China. Okay, so but Trump believes in free trade and competition, but he wants it to be balanced, okay? And the thing that does cause the imbalance, in my opinion, properly humble, is the manipulation of currency, which all of a sudden then it just costs you more, to get it into China, or you could buy it cheaper in America. So that trade manipulation is a real big deal. And then also, like China and maybe some other countries too, they'd like the dollar not to be the measuring force for value on the world. The dollar is basically the currency of the world right now. But if it was switched to some other item like the Chinese yuan, our dollars are just paper then. So right now their strength comes from it's the foundation of the economy on planet Earth. But if that changed, then we're all more difficult.
I disagree to the cause of the trade deficit.
Okay.
Even before the RMB depreciation, the trade deficit was there. If it happened
that's fair.
as long as I could recall, as long as I could remember the trade deficit, there has never been a black number between U.S. and China trade.
Well, in
This
that
has never been balanced.
The imbalance is growing, though.
The
very
imbalance
fast.
is growing to a point. Now we were talking about $347 billion,
Yeah.
right? $347 billion. Yes, that's it. Okay, now, with that number, that number was a accumulation created over these years by China exporting their labor-intensive products to the U.S. market, which is truly there, such as Walmart or Kmart, right?
Sure.
To supply the demand.
Yeah.
Right now, on way back, China say, give us something high tech, right? Give us something. Okay, now in a box like this for a pair of shoes worth $20, right? Give me something that worth $2,000 in a box like that.
Well, and it's the same situation.
I'm talking about increase the dollar value content of your export to China, or U.S. export to China, in such a way to balance the trade deficit.
Yeah, well, it is the same thing with Mexico. The problem is the labor is so inexpensive.
Yeah, I know.
And, I mean, that's just the
Okay, now,
and then the people that are doing the labor are enhancing their life.
The tactic to that is that you are exporting labor intensive, and I export high tech intensive.
Right. No, that's exactly
so
right.
as to balance it.
Right. Right.
Right.
Well, for example, as robots take over jobs in America, that will.
It's a good thing.
It'll impact China and Mexico.
If your stomach has so much of acidity, I'll give you alkalines to balance it.
Right.
Something like that.
Right.
Now, and China keeps asking, say, hey, loosen up the trade kind of bans. I, the other day, gave an example to a friend of mine, which is a good example because I was involved in one of the papers, with the papers talking about it. It's a bearing. It's like this big bearing. In the U.S. uses it for military, for the helicopter.
Like a ball bearing,
the propeller.
Yeah.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And the bearing.
Yeah.
And it's the same bearing that can be used on elsewhere.
Sure.
Right, on the reef.
Yeah.
That, right? So, and it is, of course, you can call it a military product. You can call it a regular product.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Loosen it up.
Yeah.
It's worth a lot. About $20 per ring like this. Go ahead. Right? So, taking that as the example, all I'm asking is that to tactic, right? The exact of labor-intensive export to the United States, let us, United States, export the high-tech intensive to China so as to balance it. Do you think that's a recommendation you could go? But by the way, in the afternoon you will see Mr. Trump.
Yes.
Let him know.
Yes.
Let him know I said that.
Well, the thing is, China has to allow us to do that too, to do it. So there's restrictions about what can be imported.
They both
there.
lose up. Loosen up.
Both
okay?
loosen up. That's
both
fine.
Loosen up the control. And let's shake hands. Of course. Why people shake hands?
But it's something else that will be helpful is if we can get the corporate tax rate lowered, and then the corporations have more money, then they can invest more in America.
Yeah, of course.
Which is what we want.
We can't do it. We're over time.
It's going to happen, yeah. We
over
can't
time.
change the tax rate today, guys.
Very good. Okay. All right. My dear audience, we're way over time. With Ken having, I always have a good time. So thank you for watching, my dear friends. To my friend Ken, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jack. Thank you, viewers.